예. 챕터 8에 대한 서머리 앤 어널리시스를 간단히 해보겠습니다. 스파크노트 8의, 챕터 8에 대한 서머리. The two take a serious risk by traveling to O'Brien's together. Inside his sumptuous apartment. 조금은 화려하다고까지는 얘기 안 했는데 하여간 그런 sumptuous apartment. O'Brien shocks Winston by turning off the telescreen. Believing that he is free of the party's observation, Winston boldly declares that he and Julia are enemies of the party and wish to join the Brotherhood. O'Brien tells them that the Brotherhood is real and Emmanuel Goldstein exists and is alive, and leads them through a ritual song to initiate them into the order of rebellion. Really? Ritual song? 아니, 뭐야, 와인 한잔 하면서 salute, 건배하면서 한마디 한 거잖아요? 이게 왜 리추얼송으로 바뀌냐, 갑자기? 이게 뭐야, 이게. 이거 아닙니다. O'Brien gives them wine, and Winston proposes that they drink to the past. 이게 좀 어떻게 연결이 되는 건지, 리추얼송이 어디서 나온 거야? Julia leaves, and O'Brien promises to give Winston a copy of Goldstein's book, The Manifesto of the Revolution. 아마도 이거겠죠? 뒤에서 나오나 보다. 이 책의 이름이 이건지. The O'Brien tells Winston that they might meet again one day, if possible. Winston asks if he means in the place where there's no darkness. And O'Brien confirms by repeating the phrase. O'Brien fears Winston in on the missing verses from the St. Clement's Church rhyme. 이건 뒤에 두 줄. As Winston leaves, O'Brien turns on the telescreen and returns to his work. 되게 이상하네, 이게. 리추얼성 아닌디. Analysis. 앞에서 빼먹었었죠? 7, 8 한꺼번에 어널리시스 한 거 잠깐 봅시다. 이거 스포일러가 아주 그냥 난리가 아니게 나오거든요. 스파크노트가, 어널리시스가. Winston's sudden surge of childhood memories reveals the depth to which the party's psychological manipulation has infiltrated. Psychological manipulation이 어디 나왔었나? 그러니까 어렸을 때의 기억을 지운 것 같죠? 아마도? 그죠? 그랬을 수도 있어요. Only in his subconscious is Winston still able to cling to the truth. Julia proves to be one of the few outlets. The reader never meets any of Winston's family. 아직까지. But the emotionally cathartic power of this memory, and is thus one of the few people with whom Winston can interest in a meaningful way. 근데 뭐 그래 봐야 줄리아도 뭐 별로 관심 없죠, 사실은 이거에. Their sincere commitment to each other about the fact that torture will make them turn each other in. turn in. betray죠, 이게. 그죠? confess. betray. But not stop loving each other illustrates their naive underestimation of the party's power of the human mind. 나중에 이런 게 나오나 보다. 인간의 마인드를 이렇게 manipulation 한다는 거. By the end of the novel, their loving words assume a kind of monstrous irony. as the only meeting between Winston and Julia following their torture proves emotionless and there. 그러니까 이렇다니까. 하여간 스포일러 천국입니다 아주. 아우. 알바를 잘못 보고 왔어. The most important event in this section is the meeting at O'Brien's. 자, 이거는 그 chapter 8에 대한 내용이네요. To which Winston is driven by the mixture of optimism and fatalism. Winston's powerful fascination with the enigmatic O'Brien. 수수께끼 같은 puzzling leads him to trust O'Brien and feel safe in the presence, in much the same way that he feels safe in the room above Mr. Charrington's shop. 글쎄, 같은 종류인가? Winston's hopeful belief in the brotherhood, uncharacteristic of a man as fatalist as he, actually contributes to his sense of impending doom. 그런가? 근데 그런 면이 있죠. 이 사람은 굉장히 곧 걸려서 죽을 거야. 이 생각을 하잖아요. 이걸 페이틀리스틱이라고 표현하고 있는 건데 이런 사람이면은 굉장히 패시미스틱하니까 호프한 빌리프를 갖고 있지 않잖아요. 이런 거는 옵티미스트나 갖고 있는 거잖아요. 그죠? 이런 걸 갖게 되면 이것이 곧바로 요거로 연결될 수 있다는 거죠. impending doom하고 그렇게 생각할 수도 있네요. As with his first act of rebellion, he knows that his desperation to wriggle free of party control will eventually get him caught. 그럴 거다. 그러니까 fatalism하고 groundless hope하고 막 겹쳐 있는 거죠 지금. O'Brien seems to represent a powerful figure willing to undermine the party. 그렇게 보이죠 아직은. He offers a connection to the brotherhood and has an iron will dedicated to fighting the party. He knows and is interested in the past, as can be seen in his knowledge of the song about the St. Clement's Church. 그죠? 알고 있으니까 이 노래 마지막을. He is the embodiment of everything Winston hoped he would be. 희망, 존경. As such, O'Brien fears Winston with a hope that he has never before experienced. Though this optimism shines brightly in the moment, it soon becomes evident that O'Brien is acting as Winston's idea. The hope he inspires in Winston is part of the psychological torture Winston will soon experience. 이것도 스포일러 천국이야. Since O'Brien is simply setting Winston up for a fall. 아휴, 알바를 잘못 보고 왔어. 스파크 노트는. 오케이, 클래프 노트는 한꺼번에 했네요. 챕터 7하고 챕터 8의 서머리를 한꺼번에 몰았네. 오케이, 어떻게 하는지 봅시다. 잠깐. Awakening from the troubling dream, Winston Smith tells Julia that he is responsible for the death of his mother. He recalls being hungry as a child and begging for food. One day, he stole a piece of chocolate from his small, weak sister and died, and ran outside to eat it, not returning for a few hours. That was the last time he saw his mother and sister. The memory of Winston's mother, oldest sister, provokes him to think about the pearls and the fact that they remain human despite the society in which they live. Winston and Julia discuss their relationship and how they will feel when they inevitably get caught. Julia is certain that although both of them will confess, the party is unable to make them believe their confessions. that it cannot get inside you. Winston agrees. 여기까지가 이제 7과 8과의 내용은 Winston and Julia go to O'Brien's house where they confess to O'Brien that they are enemies of the party. O'Brien explains the Sacred Brotherhood, a loosely formed group committed to eliminate the party, and initiates Julia and Winston into the group. The two swear to many perform many acts but refuse to never see each other again. 이거 어떻게 되는 게? The two swear 이게 빠져야 되네요. The two swear to perform many acts but refuse to never see each other again. O'Brien makes arrangements for Winston to receive a copy of the book, Goldstein's heretical work. O'Brien says to Winston, "We shall meet again." And Winston finishes the sentence. In the place where there's no darkness, O'Brien answers in the affirmative. 그렇다. 이게 살짝 이게 깔고 있는 것 같아, 뭔가를, 그죠? Before Winston leaves, he asks O'Brien if he knows the last lines of the nursery rhyme that Mr. Charlton began for him earlier in the story. And O'Brien finishes it, much to Winston's surprise. 놀랐죠? 어널리시스 봅시다. 영양가가 항상 있죠. 그 스파크 노트보다는. Winston's memory of his mother and sister serves to give the reader more insight into Winston's past, and thus more insight into his character as an adult, into his motivations and why he does the things he does. 이게 보면 그러니까 완벽하게 파티가 윈스턴의 어떤 그 정신세계를 머니플레이션 하는데 어디선가 실패를 한 거죠. 그죠? 그런 면으로 볼 수도 있죠. He remembers a time when a gesture such as embracing a child could be done merely for the sake of itself without catering to a political purpose. This memory reminds him of the Poles who do things just to do them, unlike party members who do things only because of their duty to Big Brother. Winston feels that the Poles are the only hope for society to regain its humanity. 이건 앞에서도 나왔던 내용이고. Winston's thoughts about the Poles lead to one of the most important conversations between Winston and Julia. 어떤 conversation? They discuss what they will do when they caught. 이게 제일 중요한 대사요. Although they know that they will confess to every detail, they are both sure that their actual feelings cannot be altered, that Big Brother can never get to the inner workings of the heart. 이게 나중에 깨지나 보다, 그죠? They agree that the party will make them inform on each other, but it will not be able to make them stop loving each other. This conversation is one of the greatest ironies in the novel and foreshadows what ultimately occurs between Winston and O'Brien and Winston and Julia. 이게 어떻게 깨지나. 그게 포인트란 거죠. Winston makes good on his decision to speak to O'Brien in hopes that O'Brien has a solution to Big Brother's tyranny. 어떻게든 깨는 방법을 알 거라고. When Winston learns that a Sacred Brotherhood really does exist, he and Julia are eager to join, even though O'Brien tells them the horrific consequences. 다 죽을 거다, 그거. Winston and Julia feel so strongly in their hatred of Big Brother and the party that they are willing to do anything to help the brotherhood, with one exception. They refuse to never see each other again. 하나만 빼고 이걸 받아들였죠. The couple's honesty with O'Brien ultimately leads to their destruction as a couple. 아, 여기서도 스포일러 천국이네, 여기도. An irony that comes back to them at the end of the novel. O'Brien tells the couple that if they survive, they may become unrecognizable to each other. 못 알아볼 수도 있다. 다른 아이덴티티를 가질 수도 있으니까. 뭐 외모도 바꾸고 모두 바꾸고. That they may become entirely different people. Here, OR foreshadows later events. The fact that O'Brien knows the ending to the nursery rhyme is noteworthy. In that 어떤 면에서 이게 의미가 있다는 거야? It signifies the beginning of the end for Winston. 이게 윈스턴의 끝의 시작이라고? 더 봐야겠다. 뭔 말인지 모르겠다. The fact that the ending comes from O'Brien is chilling, considering the events that take place later in the story, when O'Brien effectively ends Winston as the reader knows him. 우리가 알고 있는 윈스턴을 끝장내버린대요, 나중에. 참, 이 디스토피아적인 그 소설이라고는 알고 있지만 점점 더 우리가 생각하는 그 이상으로 우울한 얘기가 펼쳐질 것 같은 그런 느낌은 좀 들죠. 오케이, 여기까지 하고 국어에서 봅시다.